We've seen Tony Stark share a suit with his pal Rhodey, but isn't it time he started outfitting some other heroes? Since he destroyed and then built up his extensive suit collection, he clearly knows how to work quickly. Let's take a look at how this hero and the technology and the bottomless budget of Stark Industries could outfit some of our favorite comic book characters. Batman is known for his ability to slip amongst the shadows, so a giant metal exoskeleton might not seem like an appropriate addition to his arsenal. But artist KODE LGX knows that Bruce Wayne's #1 strength is his preparedness. A suit can come with tons of gadgets that will come in handy in a pinch. Well, that's probably his second greatest skill besides having a ton of money. Hey, super suits are not cheap, and in the comics, we've seen Bruce Wayne go much farther than his classic leotard-based getup. During the New 52 reboot, we were introduced to Batman's augmentation suit, which grants him superhuman strength, the ability to fly, and we have to imagine the feeling of being a real superpowered human. Don't worry, Bruce. Super suit maker Tony Stark knows that when it comes to being a real hero, it's what's on the inside that counts. It's no secret that Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark are both brilliant men with essentially bottomless bank accounts, so just imagine what they could put together if they could put their egos aside. It would be great if we could pump up Batman's firepower with some new gadgets and give him enhanced strength without sacrificing too much of his classic stealth. Speaking of wealthy and powerful superheroes, let's take a look at T'Challa. Now, this character already had an amazing supersuit in the MCU, but there's always room for improvement. ArtStation user HK Artworks created this amazing suit upgrade for the Black Panther that embraces the aesthetic of his MCU suit and comes with a cool accessory that almost looks like... Oh, wait, no, that is Thanos' head. Okay, maybe that's a little bit grim, but I'm assuming it was included to showcase the suit's effectiveness, so we can assume it works really well. There are two reasons why the Black Panther's current getup is so great. Because it's made with vibranium, and because it was designed by his genius sister Shuri. Since Shuri struggled to stay polite after seeing what a bad job Tony and Bruce Banner did creating Vision, it's safe to say she's a next-level creator. But if Tony had access to more than a single shield's worth of vibranium, he could probably come up with something great. After all, he did manage to figure out time travel. By combining Tony's tech with Wakandan resources, he could create a suit fit for a king like T'Challa. Just, hopefully he doesn't call it something embarrassing like barf. Since Deadpool can recover from most forms of damage, you might think that his suit wouldn't need to concentrate on defense. But seeing how effectively he can defend himself, I think he could use a little bit of padding at least. This suit, designed by SAAD IRFAN, looks a lot like Tony's classic Iron Man suit, right down to the repulsors on the hands and feet which allow him to fly. If Deadpool had the ability to fly, he might not have to take his team skydiving, which could help save lives. But since Deadpool does have that nifty healing ability, his suit could afford to sacrifice a little bit of durability for more freedom of movement. This would allow him to maintain the use of his blades like we see in the fan art. Honestly, the most important addition could be a failsafe to disable the suit at any time. As much as I love Deadpool, we all know he can be a danger to himself and others. Plus, after the whole Ultron thing, Tony's tried to be more careful about his tech, so creating a failsafe could be a really smart move. We've actually seen Deadpool wear an Iron Man suit in the comics, and it was pretty much like the time Tony smashed up his own party during Iron Man 2. If only Tony's suit came with a remote off switch. There are few things more exciting than when a beloved character is proven worthy by wielding Thor's epic Uru hammer Mjolnir. We all lost our collective minds when Cap picked it up during Avengers Endgame, but artist Young Kim thinks the moment could have been improved by having our hero in an Iron Man suit. This design actually reminds me a lot of the Iron Patriot armor we saw Rhodey wearing, which is just the War Machine armor Mark II with a shiny new paint job. It may sound silly, but we know Captain America needs to do more than just defeat villains. He needs to lead and inspire. So it makes sense that he needs a suit to make him stand out and rep the classic red, white, and blue. I'd love to see a design that would incorporate Cap's shield into the suit. Perhaps he could power it up with a blast of electricity before beaming someone in the head with it. Wolverine already has a skeleton fused with adamantium, so he might not feel like he needs more metal in his life. With a supersuit, his skin would be like the filling in a metal mutant sandwich, which is actually really gross. Oh, I'm really sorry I just said that. Just try tried to unimagine that while checking out this awesome suit designed by DeviantArt user CRISPINCJB. I love that it incorporates the classic Wolverine color scheme and headpiece into this modern suit, and that it lets his claws shine through. Adamantium is an indestructible metal, but there's a pretty compelling reason not to make a suit out of it. In Logan, we learned that long-term exposure to this Marvel metal isn't exactly healthy. Unless Tony wants to trick him into wearing a suit that will slowly damage him beyond repair, it's probably not a good idea. Unless Tony does want that, in which case it would be a terrible yet effective idea. With his crazy powerful healing ability and adamantium claws, Wolverine doesn't need to have a ton of fancy gadgets to get the job done. Simply including the ability to fly and some added durability from the suit is all he'd need to be an even more effective superhero. Thor is already a powerful superhero, but artist NegaSW thinks that he could use a major upgrade in this suit. Actually, wait, is this a Gundam designed to look like Thor or Thor in a Gundam suit? Either way, it is amazing. We saw Thor go up against Iron Man way back in the Avengers, so he clearly understands the power of a good suit, even if he does prefer a more casual style most of the time. In the comics, Tony created a set of Thor-Buster armor with the express purpose of defeating Thor. It's kind of like the Hulkbuster armor he has in the MCU, which we've seen Bruce Banner wear. Thor's an easygoing guy, so he probably wouldn't be angry about Tony creating armor specifically to defeat him. He'd just want to try it on. It would be interesting to see Tony combine his technological genius with more mystical Asgardian forces, so the armor would support Thor's considerable powers instead of working against them. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the reason artist Martin designed this suit to allow Wonder Woman's hair to flow through is so she wouldn't be mixed up with Captain Marvel. In the comics, we've seen Diana pick up Mjolnir, although she was too honorable to actually use it. She does have a Golden Eagle costume that's uniquely hers, but it's kind of fun that this suit is done in such a classic Tony Stark style, right down to the face mask. He'll design for DC heroes, but they have to fall in line with Marvel designs. Plus, this way she won't need to lasso someone for daring to tell this Amazonian princess she'd be prettier if she smiled. We know Wonder Woman often has to get ready on the run, so having a suit that she could easily put on or remove would be essential. She also has some cool gear she'd need to bring along, so it would be great for her suit to incorporate that. Maybe she could have a place for her shield, so she doesn't have to keep it wherever it was lodged in the Wonder Woman movie. Poor Groot has gone through a lot during his time in the MCU, so I think it's well past time he got his own suit of armor. Artist David Swanson made this image of Groot and Rocket, which is almost cute until you realize Rocket's holding an Iron Man arm. Let's just hope that Tony wasn't wearing it when he pulled it apart. Although Groot can regrow, he's not exactly the same person he was before, so it's best if we could avoid that by giving him some extra defense. The only problem here is that Groot can grow his limbs and use them in battle, so the sleeves and legs of the suit would need to be able to allow his appendages to extend past them. Yes, this would make them more vulnerable, but regrowing a limb is preferable to growing an entire Groot. Plus, if we packed in some awesome projectiles, then Groot could attack his foes from a distance and minimize the amount of time he'd have to spend risking life and limb. Or at least his limbs. And since Rocket once made an armor made of Groot, it's clear that he's made of some pretty strong stuff. Barry Allen is one of the fastest heroes around, which means he needs a supersuit that can keep up with them, like this one created by artist Spider Maguire. We've seen the Flash get some great suit upgrades filled with handy tech. His suit allows his allies to monitor his vital signs remotely so they can stay up to date about his current condition. And of course, any suit the Flash wears has to be able to stand up against his greatest enemy, friction. Hey, chafing is no joke when you're going at normal human speeds, let alone moving around like the Flash. His suit would have to be designed not to irritate his skin so he could go all out during a battle. Sure, Barry doesn't need all this tech to get the job done, but why shouldn't he have some extra gadgets to make his life easier? Even some standard Iron Man features like EMP projectiles or the Unibeam would be a major upgrade to the Flash's fighting ability. The Green Lantern could probably make his own supersuit, but it would be nice if Tony Stark saved him the trouble. Artist Samuel INIGUEZ showed us what it might look like if this hero got a serious suit upgrade. Let's think big when it comes to decking out his suit. During Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark unlocked the secret of time travel, so he could potentially spruce up one of his suits to include this feature. That way, Hal Jordan could journey back in time and prevent that terrible Green Lantern movie from ever being created. Honestly, what task could possibly be more heroic than that? So So which superhero do you think deserves an all-new supersuit? I have to admit that even though it's probably, definitely a bad idea, I would love to see Deadpool in some shiny new armor. Share your pick in the comments and click subscribe for more CBR. Bye for now!